Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Johnstone, and today we're going to be talking about a little known secret that can quite literally double, triple, or even quadruple the amount of volume that you're producing in your mortgage business without you having to work anymore. As a matter of fact, when you use this strategy correctly, it actually results in you working less in your mortgage business. Now, what we're going to be talking about today comes from what I've been learning from the Entrepreneur Operating System, the EOS system. And the concept that we're going to be talking about today is called your daily rocks. Now, rocks sounds a little bit weird, but it comes from a story. Now, I'm sure that this has been told time and time again in the sales world. So I'm going to be mercifully brief in case you've heard this previous, but do a good enough job that you get the concept of what the daily rocks are. So the story starts out with a professor standing in front of his class, and he pulls out a glass cylinder, and he then takes out 3 large rocks. He places them inside the glass cylinder, and they go all the way to the top. He turns to his class, and he says, "Class, is this glass full?" To which the class responds, "Yes, the glass is full. You cannot place any more rocks in there." Well, the professor then reaches underneath the table and pulls out a bag of pebbles. He then takes the pebbles, pours them over the rocks, and they fill in all of the gaps that were left by the large rocks. He says to the class, "Okay, class, now is the glass full?" They all concur the glass is full. The professor chuckles. He then pulls out a bag of sand. He opens up the sand and pours it over the pebbles and the rocks and fills the cylinder to the top. He then takes a second cylinder. It's empty. And he says, "Now watch this." He takes the sand and pours the remainder of it into that second cylinder and fills it all the way to the top. He then says to the class, "Is it full?" They say yes. Then he says, "Is there any room for the pebbles?" The answer is no. "Is there any room for the rocks?" The answer is no. And the analogy here in your business is that you are constantly bombarded with sand all day long. The glass jar is the amount of time that we have in order to run our business because we only have a certain allotted time. Now, obviously, we can work harder and we can work longer, but that's not the whole goal, right? The whole goal is to get wealthy once, and then we trade that money for time so that we have to work as little as possible in order to love and enjoy the lifestyle that we have. And so if your day is constantly full of the littlest, teeniest, tiniest priorities, other people's problems, emails, fighting fires, chasing underwriting guidelines, doing work that could be outsourced to somebody for $15 an hour, all of that work is sucking up your time, and it doesn't leave any time for the larger responsibilities that you have. So in this analogy, the rocks, the very large things that you need to take care of, those are typically the 3 or 4 main goals that you're trying to achieve in your business. So let's just say arbitrarily that you're trying to double your mortgage business. Well, that means that you need to potentially double the number of leads that you generate, which isn't always the case because oftentimes we can generate far more deals if we're able to get better quality leads. So you don't necessarily need double the amount of leads, but you need much better quality leads, right? And we've talked about that in other episodes. You need to be marketing to your database first, referral partners second, and then marketing and advertising third. And as you go down in that order, what you're doing is you're picking the low-hanging fruit first. And we have 3 strategies for each of those buckets: your database, your referral partner marketing, and then marketing and advertising. And they are the 3 most efficient, most effective processes and systems that you can put in your mortgage business in order to move the needle. And you can actually get on the phone with one of our representatives and they will walk you through that process in a one-on-one marketing strategy call. If you go to cigrowthcall.com, that's CI, which stands for Connection Incorporated, cigrowthcall.com. You can get access to that there. Again, that's a free resource. We're happy to give that to you for free. So when you're looking at the rocks in your business. You can double your lead flow. You can double your referral partners. Basically, we want to double the number of applications that you're taking, and then also increase the number of those applications that actually fund. Pro tip, and I'm giving a little bit away of what we talk about on the consultation, but if you're not marketing to your pre-approved and lookings once a week, you're absolutely losing deals to online competitors and competitors that are sniping those people while they're in the buying process. Going after your pre-approved and lookings with a little bit of a retargeting campaign and then a weekly reach out that's automated through our Connect My Leads software, hands down will generate you far more leads, far more deals than if you were to double your lead production in your business. So when we go back to the analogy of the rocks, what you want to do is make sure that your day is focused at the very beginning on the 3 things that are going to move the needle for you. So let's say one of those things is marketing to your database. That's going to be the highest dollar producing activity that you can do in any given day. Then referral partner marketing, and then marketing and advertising. Now, you may have some large projects on your desk that when you get them finished, they are going to produce a system that's going to help you process more deals. Like, let's say you're hiring a loan officer assistant that can take some of the busy work off of your desk. Well, that would be a major rock. That could be hiring that person or training that person or learning the software like Jungo or Connect My Leads that's going to help you produce a lot more volume in a shorter period of time. Everybody's rocks are going to be slightly different, but the goal is for you to be organized enough so that you know what activities that you're focused on, and there really should only be 3, 4 maximum that you're focused on in any given quarter in order to move your business towards that larger picture goal. And most of us in the mortgage business, we've done enough of these consults. Most people just come on the consult and say, hey, I want to double my business. Now, I believe that should be anchored back to a lifestyle that you want to lead and be aiming at a specific number, but hey, double's great. That's a great place to start. So you map out what you want that doubling to do, and then you map out the specific activities that you need to do in order to hit that goal, and then you prioritize them and you put them on your calendar every single day at the beginning of the day before all of the pebbles in the sand get poured into your jar, so that every single day you move your business forward towards your goals. Once you're done with the rocks, those are the 3 most important things that must be done every day in order to move you to that goal. Then you tackle the pebbles. Now, the pebbles might be daily management, like your daily management meeting with your team, or daily management with your partners, right? It could be checking in on the underwriting guidelines and those files that you have in your business. It's the activities that you're going to have to do every day, but that don't necessarily move you forward with your goals. And then the sand, these are the things that most people spend all of their time doing in the mortgage business. And this is the reactive things that you're doing. So this is responding to email, getting solicited and responding to solicitations from mortgage marketing people and people trying to sell you all these solid, shiny objects. It's potentially getting dragged into meetings that you have really no sense being in whatsoever. I mean, I know people that lose 1 to 2 hours a day just attending meetings that they really shouldn't be giving their time to. And so identifying those time-sucking activities and fighting fires and having a section of your day dedicated to doing that is far more productive. Take myself, for instance. I really only check email twice a day during a specific time slot, at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. Make sure everything that's cleaned off my desk, everybody's well taken care of, everybody gets a response the same day, but I'm not sitting with my email open all day long getting notifications, because every time I get a notification, it takes me away from the work that I'm doing to move my business and move my company forward, and that's the most important thing. And then again, I only have a certain allotted time during a day to work on the business, because my core identity is tied to the lifestyle and the time that I spend with my family, with my wife, and with my 2 wonderful children. So I use the rocks exercise in order to make sure I'm moving my business forward, all of the minutiae in the business is still taken care of every day, and all the fires are fought and everybody is well taken care of, including our staff and our customers, but it's all done in a specific time period and it's efficient every single day. And the way that I do that is by managing my calendar. And calendar is broken down into 15-minute segments, and I take up the first 2.5 hours of every single day on activities that are only going to move my business forward. And I have 3 rocks that I focus on. Now, they shift around, and I do this with quarterly planning. And then based on that quarter and what goals I'm doing and what projects I'm working on, I'm moving those projects forward. Sometimes I finish them sooner and I add a new rock into my calendar, or sometimes they go a little bit longer and I continue to work on that rock. But I know what my rocks are. They get addressed first thing in the morning, and I get those done. Then the rest of the day comes along. I think if you take this and you give yourself the time to sit down and look at what are the activities that I must be doing to move the needle forward in my mortgage business. Having a better relationship with your past customers, generating new realtor referral partners and new financial planner partners, and taking past episodes that we've done here on the podcast and implementing those marketing strategies to bring more loan applications in the door. Those are worthwhile rocks to be working on. Hiring the people, systemizing your staff, putting the processes in place so that other people can take the mortgage applications, other people can take the paperwork, other people can do those activities that used to be your sand filling up your whole day, because that frees you up to go do the higher level activities, which are the rocks for the day. Put that on a calendar. If it's not scheduled, you're not going to remember to do it after a week's time or 2 weeks' time. It needs to be on the calendar, and that calendar appointment is just as important as a calendar appointment with a client or with a vendor or whoever it is. You cannot miss an appointment with yourself. It is just as important, just as non-negotiable. So set that time aside and make sure you're working on moving your day and your business forward using the daily rocks. Again, this comes from the Entrepreneur Operating System. You can Google EOS to find out about that. And I've had some fantastic results since we've started implementing that process within our business. Now, if you would like us to walk you through the 3 pathways and what I believe should be the 3 rocks in your mortgage business, go to cigrowthcall.com. That's cigrowthcall.com. Claim a free one-on-one marketing planning session, and we're happy to help walk you through the exercise of identifying the low-hanging fruit and profit in your mortgage business, and then mapping out a plan for you to go out and get it. I hope that you enjoyed this episode of the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast. Don't forget to like and comment if you're watching this on social media, and head on over to iTunes, search for the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast with Chris Johnstone, hit us up with a 5-star review, and subscribe to the podcast so that we can help even more professionals in the mortgage industry with this information. My name's Chris Johnstone, signing off, and I'll see you in the next episode. Hey, it's Chris Johnstone. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast. I hope that you loved it and got incredible value from it. Right now, it's time to head on over to iTunes and leave your 5-star review if you enjoyed this episode. When you do, you will be entered into our monthly draw to receive an Amazon gift card. So go ahead, leave that review today. It also helps us attract top talent and really get incredible interviews lined up for you so that we can share even more value for you. Now, for the show notes and for all of the resources that were mentioned in this episode, you can head on over to loanofficerwealth.com. That's loanofficerwealth.com. You get access to all the show notes from all the episodes, all the past episodes, get notified of new episodes when they drop, and we've also got some very special bonuses for you over on that page when you opt in. So head on over and opt in today, and we look forward to sharing the next episode of the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast with you soon.